Well, hello everyone. This is Igor from the Gravity Engraving channel. Today, we'll test a cool way to do automatic engraving on these little knives. The task is simple. We're creating a QR code. Why this way? Because there are so many of them, I don't want to place them manually or aim each one. So, QR code generator. Hit Control V, this will be for Telegram. So, the QR code will look like... Whether it'll actually scan or not, I honestly can't say yet. Control Z, Control Z. Let me make it a bit bigger like this. Now we go to basically color separation. My goal now is to completely remove the white color here. Hit delete, and then create a white background layer. So we create a rectangle. I'll choose a rectangle size, well, roughly in this format, holding down the Shift key. There it is. I'll set the rectangle to engraving, and the rectangle will be placed at the top position for the engraving. I'll size it specifically for the knife, so the whole engraving, as they say, fits perfectly on the blade. Right now, we're testing, well, at least for the video, I'll test a link to my Telegram channel where I'll be giving away various cool items. The knife is quite interesting because, well, many of our subscribers have already received it. For those who ordered supplies over a certain amount, I always throw these in as a gift. Some have probably received these knives 2 or 3 times already. Well, it is what it is. So what are we doing here? First, we'll change the engraving parameter settings. The engraving will be MOPA IR, which is infrared. We'll set the power 17 and the marking speed to 2000. We'll assume we're using a MOPA 60M7, basically. Let's increase the lines a bit, around 200. Bidirectional, pulse 248. The only thing is, it won't let us use bidirectional, so crosshatch isn't available because we're using the belt. So on the belt, it'll only work in one position. Let's stick with this option. Let's say this version works for us, for example. Now let's move on to engraving the actual image. Here, naturally, I'm considering that we're engraving a high detail image, deep black, and all that good stuff. We're also using MOPA IR, which is infrared. For the dot duration on metal, I'll set the value to 300. Yeah, it'll be as black as a tractor driver's tractor. Right. Next, we exclude grayscale again, and the bare mode works really well here. Bidirectional, yes. To speed things up, we definitely need to use bidirectional. And as for this, we're using 30 nanoseconds. We'll leave the pulse duration and frequency range as they are in that position. As for the DPI, to speed up the process, yes, we need to lower the DPI. Then we'll have to burn through using the pulse duration mode specifically. So we could set the DPI to the maximum, but then one knife would take at least 5 minutes to engrave. I'm not happy with that option, but on the plus side, we'll be able to test. If this system can handle working for 5 minutes, moving on, 5 minutes, and moving on again. I mean, if it can function like that, it's interesting because the CCD vision system from VDLM can't do that. I had a machine that I bought for almost 700,000 rubles. In the end, I struggled with it for a month while I was finishing the assembly and fine-tuning it, basically getting it all set up. And it turned out that either Windows wouldn't work, or the system wouldn't work, or it couldn't do this, or it couldn't do that. Basically, it wasn't worth it at all. This one should work efficiently in theory, so let's set the DPI to the maximum value for now. Later on, I'll lower the parameters, meaning I'll increase the engraving dot duration parameters, and I'll lower the DPI accordingly. That way, we'll get a rough balance in terms of time, making it a bit faster, but the quality will be slightly lower. So we've done everything necessary here and positioned it. The next step is that we need to scan this knife. So we clicked on the next step. Yes, we've done everything, configured it and prepared it, because it won't let us go back to this position. Let's click continue. It's taking a snapshot of our image and uploading it back. This is all done via Wi-Fi, not a cable. Just so you understand. Surprisingly, the image is recognized, the shadow isn't being included. The system is working quite well. I set the focal length in advance. Again, they recommend selecting the entire keychain like this. Let's click process. Tips. Power detected from 0 to 10. Okay, power. Nah, we don't need anything. Everything is great. Everything is fine. We set it all up. We did a good job. It's all done. So everything should work awesome. And basically, after these steps, we're moving on to the equipment itself, starting the absorber and the extractor. But here, by the way, a question arises. Why, with all this going on, we have the QR code, but we don't have our cleaning? This is more than strange, because it should have been there. It means I did something wrong. Yes, the QR code is being hatched, but our cleaning isn't. Why? Let's look again. MOPA IR engraving, the box is checked. Everything here seems to be turned on. One pass, 200 lines, bidirectional, 248. So there are no problems here, none at all. Everything is working fine. The frequency is set. Okay, so here, of course, I don't understand what happened. It's more than strange. Sure, well, let's select two files, although that shouldn't have happened. Click continue again, and now the recognition will start once more. So maybe there's a catch. Either we shouldn't have selected anything, or we select both files at once. Click process. Again. Power from 1 to 10% detected for one or more objects, which may affect the processing result. Do you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue, but the machine doesn't have that kind of power, surprisingly, which is more than strange. So either I messed up somewhere or. Now everything is exactly as it should be. Now look, we're doing it again just to be safe. I'll definitely do a preview, speeding up the process so we don't get stuck here. So something went wrong. Something didn't go quite right. What went wrong? Two objects selected, confirm, continue. Maybe we'll stumble a bit right here in this spot, because in reality, yeah, I really want to get into it. Change parameters? Nah, continue. If everything looks right here, I won't bother with the preview, I'll just keep going. I realize I'm giving it complex tasks now. I mean, with layering and multi-layering, there's no way to do that in VDLM. So there's this interesting controller. Okay, let's confirm, and then, well, let's move on and see how it turns out. So in the meantime, while the engraving is running, it'll be done soon, everything is basically stable and looking good. A deep, rich black color, which I really like. On the downside, the surface or the structure of the knives themselves is just too detailed, and they're quite difficult to recognize. But then again, the lighting system kicks in, brighter, dimmer, to get rid of anything related to shadows. Yeah, they were recognized perfectly. We're gonna have two knives engraved. And the next detail, we're gonna address this issue too, related, you see, to the engraving. Right now, it's hatching the QR code. But man, then it's gonna mat it. So this knife has already ended up being re-engraved. We had that happen at the very beginning too, but overall it worked out. Yeah, it's funny that I had to reshoot the last scene twice. I'll explain what the deal is now. Let's start by just taking a look at the knives. How'd they turn out? A first knife? Mistake. The issue with it was specifically with the QR code engraving and its background. So basically, I clicked around there, of course I did, and got a nice deep black color, glossy, really excellent. But the matte background didn't work out because the frequency was too high. So I fixed the issue right away and everything turned out fine. The next issue that I started having, well, I didn't expect it to happen, but it did. And it's an engraving issue. First the QR code, and then it turns out the matte background is applied. This one was redone, I put it back in there again, and to be honest, I started getting really annoyed. I'll finish this, show you everything here, and then tell you a detail that everyone absolutely needs to know. You need to know this. I'll show you in a second. They showed me what to do, it turns out. Well, I'm just a total klutz, honestly. So moving on with the QR codes, everything's engraved, it's all sharp, looks good, high quality. No issues there at all. It's all matte, rich, perfectly readable, and the QR codes scan easily. I'll definitely leave the template. In the Telegram channel, all the links will be in the description below the video, plus links to the official dealers for this equipment. And again, the official guys who handle this product, they sell it, they just told me now, what I was doing wrong, so the guys basically help out. They're quick to explain what needs to be done or fixed. Basically, there are pros, though how they manage everyone, I have no idea, to be honest. As for the knives, that was done more or less quickly. And another thing was, I was basically loading the knives in here. I'd put in 2 at a time and just walk away. They'd move into place, get detected, and then get marked on their own. So while I was busy with other things, it beeps when it's done, I load the next knives, just toss them in there. And that's how the process goes. Each cycle took about 5 or 6 minutes. For me, that's fine. I could go load some stock or fill out an invoice, for example. So the timing allows you to do that. So there are definitely advantages there too. Now, about my own clumsiness, let me show you. I'll show you from my phone. Man, it's actually pretty funny. And basically, don't make the same mistakes when you're working with this software. Actually, there's more to it than I thought. And more than I know than what's there. Let's go. Let me try to capture the whole screen. The object properties list. We have 2 files and they were being engraved randomly. Randomly meaning the first rectangle should have gone first and then the QR code. So what was my snag? First, for creating the object tracing squares. It's a similar system to the one used in Lightburn. You can make a rectangle, an outline, a polygon. Cool. The blue beam intensity is also cool. They did a great job, no doubt. During the process, when we start it with the selected objects and we run the process, there's this thing like a pop-up window, and right here in the pop-up window at the bottom right, I didn't notice it, I wasn't looking, and for some reason I didn't click it. Who knows why, but there's this thing called automatic planning. In this case, you shouldn't use automatic planning, but user-defined from the start. One by one, so yeah, one after another or all together, but naturally we do them one by one. So just like that. That's it. Nothing else needs to be done here. And for the layer, well, yeah, let's click by layer. Let it be, I don't know, something like this. I mean, you can play around with it here. I'll practice it again and show you everything. If we have automatic planning enabled, the program decides for itself, how it wants it, this option or that option. And that's how it turns out. So don't mess up here. I'll save all the files. I'll definitely save them under a specific user. So if anyone's having trouble, send those issues my way. The folks at xTool are messaging me right now, explaining things and giving me more info. So a little thing like this is easily fixed. The machine works even better. It's even more impressive. So let's keep on working. Let's get to it.